They're not trying to flex, they're trying to optimize. They want clarity, control, and confidence with their money. And most of all, they want to use their income as a tool to create a life that feels free, not flaunted.
Who the f*** am I to tell you what to do with your money?
My name is Priya Malani, currently managing millions of hardworking dollars. Enough foreplay. Let's talk
Money.
Welcome to the F word. Smart money.
No bull.
Hey guys, welcome back to the F word. Today I'm talking about a term that we used to love, a label we actually helped popularize, and one that, if I'm being honest, just no longer feels like it fits. It's the term Henry. High earner, not rich yet. If you've followed Stash Wealth for a while, you've definitely heard us use it. We built an entire business around the idea, helping high-earning 30-somethings who looked great on paper but felt behind in real life. And for a while, the term Henry gave a name to something real. It helped people feel seen. But lately, it's felt off, especially one word, rich. Let's talk about it. So at Stash Wealth, we've been working with high earners since day one. Six-figure incomes, that's par for the course. Ambitious 30-somethings trying to build a life they're proud of, that's our bread and butter. But the word rich, it just doesn't reflect how our clients feel, or what they value, or what they're really after. Because our clients aren't just high earners, they're high achievers. They're not trying to flex, they're trying to optimize. They want clarity, control, and confidence with their money. And most of all, they want to use their income as a tool to create a life that feels free, not flaunted. So yes, while we, technically still serve Henrys, we've started speaking to a more evolved version, a more sophisticated 30-something who isn't trying to look rich, they're just trying to live well. And that's a huge, huge difference. So in today's episode, I want to really unpack why we're over the term rich, why high earner doesn't tell the whole story, and what actually matters when you're trying to build wealth. Let's start with the term high earner. If you make six figures but still hesitate when someone suggests splitting the bill evenly, congrats, you're in this weird middle class of adulthood. The term high earner gets just thrown around a lot these days, usually by people who are trying not to sound like they make a lot of money. And in places like New York, where your rent is $4,800, your therapist charges $300 an hour, and your dog walker likely makes more than your cousin with a sociology degree, the line between comfortable and rich gets blurry real fast. So what even is a high earner? Is it a number, a lifestyle, a dishwasher in your city apartment? We've heard it defined a few ways. Some people say you make over $100,000 or over $250,000, or you work in tech, law, finance, or something else that no one fully understands. Or our personal favorite, you Venmo people back without rounding. But here's the thing. Being a high earner is less about income and more about options. It's about someone who's making good money, has the ability to make intentional choices with it, and doesn't have to stress over every purchase, even though they still might. Now that brings me to the next term that really trips people up, which is rich. Here's why rich doesn't land. For one, it feels out of touch. In a world where the wealth gap is on full display, calling yourself rich can feel like you're ignoring reality. So people downplay their wins to stay relatable, right? They say, I'm doing okay, instead of I'm crushing it. Also, being rich kind of has a branding problem. We've been trained to equate rich with greedy, with privilege, with hedge funds and Hamptons brunches and Patagonia vests that you wear unironically. And if you grew up in a household where money was tight, especially if you're first gen, the word rich can carry even more baggage. It can feel like you're betraying where you came from, like you're ungrateful or inviting judgment, or that you should feel guilty for wanting more. And here's the kicker. Even if you are rich, it probably doesn't feel that way, because being rich should mean freedom. But for a lot of high earners, it just means higher rent, higher taxes, and more expensive problems. It's therapy, dog walkers, weddings, $19 matcha. So when someone calls you rich, you might flinch because it doesn't feel accurate. You're still figuring it out, still wondering if you're doing it right, still anxious about investing or behind on saving. And if rich means you've got it all figured out, well, most of us don't. So what happens? We reach for safer language. I'm comfortable. We're surviving. But here's the twist. Avoiding the label doesn't make you smarter with your money. In fact, it might actually be keeping you from owning your power. When you distance yourself from terms like rich, you also risk distancing yourself from the confidence, the clarity, the financial control that should come with making good money. The clients we work with aren't trying to look rich, they're trying to live well. And that's a major mindset shift. It's not about having a certain number in the bank. It's about knowing that your money has purpose, that it's working towards the life you want, that you're making intentional decisions, that your success actually feels like success. Because income alone doesn't build wealth. Clarity does. Strategy does. Confidence does. I'm here for that. So, are we over the word rich? Yeah, kind of. But we're not over ambition or alignment or helping high achieving 30-somethings finally feel like they're on the right track. So regardless of whether you call yourself a Henry, a high earner, or just doing fine, here's what we care about. Are you ready to make your money work for you? To use your income as a tool, not a trap. To build wealth in a way that feels personal, aligned, and dare I say, freeing. Because if you are, you don't need a new label. You just need a plan. If this episode made you rethink how you talk about money or gave you permission to want more without the guilt, share it with someone who needs that reminder. All right, see you next time.
Thanks for listening to The F Word with Priya Malani. If you like what you heard, hit subscribe wherever you're listening and leave us a review while you're at it. We're approval junkies. Don't forget, you can find a ton of great resources, content, courses, and other freebies at stashwealth.com. Now, for the capital S stuff our lawyers want us to say. Stash Wealth is a registered investment advisor. Content presented is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to make an offer or solicitation for any specific securities, product, service, or strategy. Consult with a qualified investment advisor, that's us, before implementing any strategy. Investing involves risk, including the loss of